Our today's topic is concept of citizenship, as our course is human rights and citizenship. First, what is citizenship? So citizenship is basically a relationship between an individual and a state to which the individual owes allegiance and in turn is entitled to its protection. Citizenship implies the status of freedom with accompanying the responsibilities. And this concept of citizen is the ancient one, and it is clearly defined in many dictionaries. A native or naturalized member of a state or nation who owes allegiance to the government and is entitled to its protection. A native means like your forefather was living in a certain state and you born there. So that means that you are a native citizen of a state. So an inhabitant of a city or town, especially one entitled to its privileges or franchises. So whoever living is in a society, in a state, so definitely he have some privileges and some franchises that he can use all the facilities available there. All the social facilities are available for the people. And from this, citizenship is defined as the state of being vested with the rights, privileges, and duties of a citizen. And citizens, they have certain rights, duties, and responsibilities we will discuss later. And these duties, rights, and responsibilities are obligations. They are denied or only partially extended to aliens and other non-citizens residing in a country. In general, we can say that full political rights, including the right to vote and hold public office, are predicated upon citizenship. And the usual responsibilities of citizenship are allegiance, taxation, and military services. So Aristotle, he is considered the father of political science. The discussion of politics systematically started by the Greek philosophers, and Aristotle was one of them. And there was Plato, and he wrote a book, The Republic. So while he was discussing the state, he discussed the citizen or the population as well. And Aristotle said that he who has the power to take part in the deliberative or judicial administration of any state is said by us to be a citizen of that state. And speaking generally, a state is a body of citizens sufficing for the purpose of life. So there are four components of a state, and population is one of them. If there is no citizen, there are no citizens, there is no population. So definitely there won't be any state. And the idea of state will be useless. So state and citizen, they actually work together to have a better life. If state will be strong, state will be secure, so definitely the people residing in that state, they will feel secure as well. And Aristotle, while answering the question that what makes a good citizen, he said that one citizen differs from another, but the salvation of the community is the common business of them all, and this community is the state. So we might differ from one another, and we do. Our objective can be different. The living standards might be different, and the purpose of life might be different, but the common business of us all, that is salvation to the state, that we must be faithful, we must be loyal to the state, and whoever is loyal to the state is a good citizen. This is what Aristotle said. And the virtue of the citizen must therefore be relative to the state which he is a member. And if he is loyal and faithful to the state, so definitely by virtue of this, he will be a valuable member of that particular state. Citizenship and right. So when you become a citizen of a state, so definitely you enjoy all the rights granted to people in a given state. These are expressed in rules which specify what an individual may or may not do, and what the state may or may not do. We have seen in the Constitution of Pakistan from Article 8 to 28, it clearly defines the rights of the citizens. And then there are certain principles of policy, like what state will do in response to that. Like there are certain things like education, like social services, what are the necessary thing for the citizen, so the state will do that. And when people will enjoy these rights, so state demands allegiance, loyalty from the citizens, and these are clearly stated in the constitutions. So they are usually defined in the constitutions and other basic legislations. If they are not in the constitution, so one can find them in some other laws. So keep one thing in mind, that moral rights, they have no legal sanction. So if someone's moral rights are infringed, so they cannot be challenged, and only legal rights which are recognized by the state, they can be challenged and they can be protected. So at a world level, they are foundation in the universal, they are founding in the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. That is the first link between the international system and the individual. इंडिविजुअल के लिए जो यूनिवर्सल ह्यूमन राइट्स डिक्लेरेशन है, जिसको हमने डिटेल में हमने उसको डिस्कस किया था कि वो क्या था, क्यों बनाया गया था, तो उसने बेसिकली जो इंडिविजुअल और इंटरनेशनल सिस्टम के दरमियान में एक लिंक क्रिएट किया है, लाइक बताने के लिए कि दीज आर ह्यूमन राइट्स आर यूनिवर्सल, सो दे आर इनएलिएनेबल. सो ह्यूमन राइट्स को क्लियरली बता दिया गया कि दे आर यूनिवर्सल. सो अ पर्सन, अ सिटीजन who go around the world, he will enjoy those human rights. So this has created the United Nations Human Rights Declaration. It created a link between the individuals, between the citizens and the international system. as each of us belongs to many communities. Like there are certain neighbors who live in a town or city, there is a school or university. So there is a mosque, a religious institution, there is a state, and a community member definitely who may have many responsibilities, things we should do or obligations that we fulfill voluntarily. And as a citizen, we also have some responsibilities and duties, and what the things we are required to do. We must fulfill duties required by national, state, and local governments, or we must face fines or imprisonment. The first and the foremost duty of a citizen is the obedience of law, as the citizens are expected to obey the law, to, to vote, pay the taxes, and they perform voluntary public services like serving on juries. So some of these are conditioned in law, but most are part of the normal expectations of behavior. So obedience of law, that is, that serves specific purposes such as to help people get along, prevent accidents, and see that resources are used fairly. And the payment of taxes, so government needs a lot of money to pay police, pay roads, maintain armed forces, and to run the affairs of the state. So people pay a percentage of what they are bringing or on the sale of goods or even property. And these are required by the state that citizens should contribute in the expenditures of the government. And serve in the court, like every adult citizen must be prepared to serve as on a jury or as a witness at a trial if called to do so. So if you're called to come as a witness, so it is your responsibility to go there, and you must honestly give the evidence. And as a tourist, that when you are traveling to other states, so you should not pollute or write graffiti on national monuments. जैसे हमारे यहाँ लोग जाते हैं ना, तो फिर अपने नाम और अपनी डिफरेंट चीज़ें मुख्तलिफ जगह पे लिख के आ जाते हैं ताकि एक याददाश्त रहे और आने वालों को भी ये पता लगे कि जो है वो यहाँ पे फलां साहब आए थे. तो इसलिए ऐसी चीज़ें लिखना ये बुनियादी तौर पर ठीक नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. और आपको ग्लोबल गुड को देखना चाहिए. सो डेफिनेटली अब आजकल की ग्लोबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड है, तो उसमें होता ये है कि लोग वो जो भी आप यहाँ पे करते हैं, सब डेफिनेटली इट अफेक्ट्स the people on the other corner of the world, and one should not send spam on the internet, like ऐसी emails जो कि लोगों को धोखा देने के लिए हों. या उनकी कोई जो प्राइवेट इंफॉर्मेशन है उसको कलेक्ट करके उनको कोई नुकसान पहुंचाने का खतरा हो, ऐसे कोई भी ईमेल आपको दूसरों इंटरनेट पे सेंड नहीं करनी चाहिए. Citizens, they do enjoy authority as well, and this is the central pillar in the architecture. Slaves may have rights and responsibilities. Only citizens have authority over their governments. They provide legitimacy to most governments through vote. Monarchy है अगर, the one man rule है, so dictatorship है, तो वहाँ पे तो शायद the role of the citizen is not accepted, but जहाँ पे democracy होगी, definitely people will enjoy the right, this authority. And because it is generally believed that whoever gets the power, whoever who governs is actually with the consent of the governed. तो जो सिटीजन होते हैं जिनके ऊपर हुकूमत करती है वो लोगों की मर्जी से होते हैं, and they may change government. So if people are in the street, if people there are not happy with the government or the policies of the government, so definitely they can change government leaders and may determine what constitutes the common good. तो लोग खुद फैसला करते हैं कि उनके लिए अच्छा क्या है. तो अगर उनके लिए स्टेट अच्छा कर रही है, so definitely they are satisfied. So they will not strike, they will not protest, they will not stand against the government because they are happy with the policies of the government. And if there is dissatisfaction from the masses, so definitely it will be a trouble for the government leaders. And the people actually provide legitimacy to the government. If people are not supporting the government, so definitely they can delegitimize that. They will lose their authority. And citizen authority is everywhere, in every state. It matters a lot. And now people enjoy this authority through their representatives. Like the representative of a particular constituency, he actually regard the aspiration of the people, of the voters. So if people are not participating directly, they are participating indirectly through their representatives. Let's understand the difference between nationality and citizenship, because most of the time we do understand that these are similar one, that there is no difference between nationality and citizenship. So this status arising out of the fact that the person is the origin of a particular nation is called nationality. So whatever your origin is, basically that is your nationality. And citizenship is the political status that can be obtained by meeting the legal requirements set by the government of the state. And Your origin, it defines your nationality. And the citizenship, it is actually basically a political status. And a political status of a citizenship, it can be obtained if you're meeting all the legal requirements set out by a state. Like you want to move to United States, so there are certain legal requirements. So whenever you meet them, you fulfill them, so you can get the political status as a citizenship there. But your nationality is your origin. You will remain a Pakistani if you are there. So your nationality is a Pakistani. And the nationality is an ethnic or racial concept. On the other hand, citizenship is a legal or juristic concept. So, what is your ethnicity? So, what race you belong to, that defines your nationality. Ethnically, if you're Pakistani or you're subcontinent, so definitely you will be considered as a Pakistani or the Indian. और on the other hand, हमने कहा कि citizenship basically is a legal, एक कानूनी term है जिसको कानूनी तौर पर इस्तेमाल किया जाता है कि someone is a citizen of a particular state. एक शहरी है, शहरी होना और एक नेशनल होना, ये तो डिफरेंट चीज़ें हैं. अब the nationality of a person indicates her or his place of birth or country, while the citizenship of a person shows that the individual is registered as a citizen by the government of the respective country. So wherever you're born, so that is your nationality. And citizenship is merely registration by the government of a particular state. The next difference is that a person can become a national of a country by birth or by inheritance. So, as against this, there are a variety of ways through which an individual can become the citizen of a country, like by birth, inheritance, marriage, naturalization, or registration. So, the nationality basically you can achieve only by two ways. The first one is by birth and through inheritance. But citizenship can be achieved by multiple ways, like by birth, by inheritance, marriage, or naturalization. We will see naturalization later, but it is that you meet all the legal requirements. That process is known as naturalization. A registration, that a certain government register you as a citizen of particular state. And the next difference is that the nationality of a person cannot be changed. However, citizenship can be changed. आपकी nationality change नहीं हो सकती. So, because it defines your race, your ethnicity, and your place of birth, it cannot be changed. But citizenship can be changed. If you want, if you were living in the United States and after some time you decide that you're not comfortable here and you want to move to some other states like Australia, so you can change it. So the citizenship can be changed. And the nationality of a person cannot be taken back. No one can revoke your nationality. Even the government cannot revoke your nationality. But the citizenship can be required at any time, can be revoked at any time. So government can take it back if you're not behaving responsibly. So definitely the state can revoke your citizenship, but nationality cannot be revoked or cannot be taken back. And the last one is that a person cannot be a national of more than one country, and in contrast, a person can possess citizenship of more than one country at a time. So your nationality will remain the single one, but if you want to keep the citizenship of more than one country, you can. And like if the laws, particular law of the state allows you, like if you get the nationality or the citizenship of United States, the Pakistani law actually forbids you, and it uh, puts some restriction that if you want to get the US citizenship, you are supposed to surrender the citizenship of Pakistan. So you will be an American citizen at that time. So many states, they do allow their citizens to have dual nationality, and some states, they put restrictions on some states. There are certain kinds of citizenship, like how you get that. Number one is the citizenship by birth. So birthright citizenship refers to the citizenship granted to a person by virtue of the circumstances of his or her birth. So wherever you're born, so you get the citizenship of that particular state. And a birthright citizenship can be acquired through, there are two terms, and that is juristic terms, legal terms, like jus solis. Jus soli is a right by which nationality or citizenship can be recognized to any individual born in the territory of the related state. तो आप अगर किसी अमेरिकन सॉइल पे पैदा हुए तो अमेरिकन दे offer you citizenship of that particular state कि आप अमेरिकन नेशनल हैं because you're born here on the soil of United States. So basically they regard it as a birthright, and you get the nationality of that citizenship of that state. And jus sanguinis is a social policy by which nationality or citizenship is not determined by place of birth, but by having an ancestor who is a national or citizen of a state. So if you're not born there, but your ancestor, your forefathers, your parents, they got the nationality or the citizenship of a particular state, so it is your right to get the citizenship of that state. Many Pakistani who are living in EU or some other states like America, Australia, so when they get the citizenship, they apply for their children as well. So then you get the right of citizenship और फिर आप उस मुल्क में के सिटीजन बन के वहाँ पे चले जाते हैं. And the Pakistan Citizenship Act 1951, how it describe that who is going to be the citizen of Pakistan and who can get the citizenship by birth, or is there any naturalization process through which one can get the citizenship of Pakistan. And the federal government, upon his obtaining a certificate of domicile under this act, register as a citizen of Pakistan by migration any person who, after the commencement of this act and before the first day of January 1952, has migrated to the territories now included in Pakistan from any territory in the Indo-Pakistan subcontinent outside those territories with the intention of residing permanently in those territories, provided that the federal government may be general or special order, except any person or class persons from obtaining a certificate of domicile required under this subsection. It allows anyone जो लोग जनवरी से पहले या फर्स्ट डे ऑफ जनवरी में जो पाकिस्तान का में आए और दे वांटेड टू रिजाइड इन पाकिस्तान, तो पाकिस्तान सिटीजनशिप इट अलाउज द गवर्नमेंट कि उनको वो एक डोमिसाइल इशू करे, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ रियासत बाशिंदा सर्टिफिकेट, जो टेरिटरीज पाकिस्तान के साथ शामिल होंगी उनके तमाम बाशिंदों को, और जो लोग परमानेंटली इन इलाकों में के परमानेंटली पाकिस्तान में रहना चाहते हैं, तब गवर्नमेंट हैज़ द अथॉरिटी टू इशू देम certificate of domicile. Registration granted under the preceding subsection shall include, beside the person himself, his wife, if any, unless his marriage with her has been dissolved, and any minor child or his dependent, whether wholly or partially, upon him. तो कोई भी शख्स वो अपने लिए भी वो रजिस्टर जो डोमिसाइल सर्टिफिकेट है वो ले सकता है, और उसकी वाइफ को भी मिलेगा, और अगर कोई उनका डिपेंडेंट है चाइल्ड में से या कोई माइनर है तो उनको भी मिलेगा. तो यानी बहुत लाइक कि जो भी लोग हैं, अगर उनकी वाइफ है उसको भी, अगर उनकी डिज़ोल्व हो चुकी है मैरिज, तो माइनर चाइल्ड है तो उनको भी डोमिसाइल सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा. And the Pakistan Citizenship Act 1951, it says that every person born in Pakistan after the commencement of this act shall be a citizen of Pakistan by birth, provided that a person shall not be such a citizen by virtue of this section if at the time of his birth. So there are certain conditions. So after the commencement of this act 1952, so वो कहते हैं कि everyone will be a citizen of Pakistan who born in Pakistan. लेकिन अगर कुछ लोग ऐसे होंगे जो कि वो पाकिस्तानी सिटीजन नहीं होंगे. Number one is his father possesses such immunity from suit and legal process as is accorded to every of an external sovereign power accredited in Pakistan and is not a citizen of Pakistan. So who got immunity in Pakistan? So in every state the ambassadors, they are immune, they got immunity from suits and legal process. So the diplomats are the diplomatic mission. They are above the law. They have immunity. So if their children they born in Pakistan, so definitely they will not get the citizenship of Pakistan. And his father is an enemy alien, and the birth occurs in a place then under occupation by the enemy. And Afghanis, you can consider them as the enemy alien. Okay, so that's why the birth occurs in a place and then under occupation by the enemy. तो अगर वो किसी ऐसे जगह पैदा हुआ जो कि occupation by the enemy है, तो definitely he will not get the citizenship by birth. And citizenship by naturalization, like what the question asks, that if someone stays in a particular state like Pakistan for 15 years, so whether he will get the citizenship or not. Basically, it's a process that is known as the naturalized citizen. Is basically is a foreign-born individual who has met all the requirements of becoming a citizen, and that process is known as naturalization of citizenship. So Pakistan, it does not have any policy of naturalization, but some other states like Europe and some other, and now UAE have made a policy. So this procedure is known as naturalization, and naturalized citizen will be that foreign-born individual who will meet all the requirements and get the citizenship. So citizenship by naturalization in Pakistan, the federal government may, upon application made to it in that behalf by any person who has been granted a certificate of naturalization under the Naturalization Act 1926, registered that person as a citizen of Pakistan by naturalization, and there is a condition. तो फेडरल गवर्नमेंट अगर इशू करती है किसी एक पर्सन को, ग्रांट करती है एक सर्टिफिकेट नेचुरलाइजेशन का कि ओके वी विल गिव यू द सिटीजनशिप इफ़ यू मीट ऑल दीज रिक्वायरमेंट्स, तो या उसको रजिस्टर कर लेती है एज अ सिटीजन ऑफ पाकिस्तान बाय नेचुरलाइजेशन के थ्रू, तो कोई शर्त यह है कि द फेडरल गवर्नमेंट may register any person as a citizen of person without his having obtained a certificate of naturalization as aforesaid. फेडरल गवर्नमेंट बगैर किसी सर्टिफिकेट के नेचुरलाइजेशन के वो गवर्नमेंट भी अपने तौर पे ये कर सकती है, लेकिन इट इज़ अ टोटल डिस्क्रिशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. अगर गवर्नमेंट seems that okay, this is a useful person and it can help in the economy of Pakistan, so definitely if government register them and the naturalization process is completed, so definitely he can get the citizenship of Pakistan. And that's all. So if you have any question, you can ask.